Hey, what's up, dudes? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Dead by Daylight video. I'm back. I can't promise how consistent I'm gonna be, but I will give you guys an update on that at the end of the video if you want to, stay tuned for that little explanation and where I'm gonna be here for the next little bit. Anyways, alright, look, they dropped a developer update that has me more excited to play this game than I think I have ever been. And I know I've said that a few times with some of these developer updates over the past few months, but this one is like, no shit. Like, I am more excited than I have ever been to get back into playing this game. So we're gonna break a lot of it down. Not all of it, but a lot of it down. We're going to go through it kind of in pieces. So here we go. To kind of give you guys a, a small overview of the progression system, there's been a big update. If you prestige a character, then that character, you get the first level of the teachable perks on everyone, I believe. It's crazy. It's really, really good. I really like how they've reduced the grind here. They've reduced it by what they're saying is roughly 75%. They give an example here. So say you prestige to the Trapper, this will instantly unlock tier 1 versions of Agitation, Brutal Strength, and Unnerving Presence on all killers. So if you can get at least that killer to prestige 1, you unlock those perks on, every other killer, so you're not having to grind for them. That's great. Another huge thing is no more resets. Prestiging a character will no longer remove their perks, items, add-ons, or offerings, and perk slots will also remain unlocked after prestiging. That is huge. That was one thing that always kept me away from prestiging. It would take all of your perks, which there's way too many perks for it to take all of them. It would take all of your items. It would take all of your add-ons. It would take all of your offerings, like, whatever. It would take everything. It was a fucking chore, and I don't know how so many people have, like, all of these killers and survivors prestige level 3. I don't get it. I never would have. I never wanted to, but now that you don't lose anything, I'll probably prestige all my characters a few times. And now the prestige limit is actually 100, so those completionists better get the hell on it. Good lord. But now you'll receive the bloodied clothes at levels 4, 5, and 6 for prestige, and for completionists, it says at levels 7, 8, and 9 they will grant one of that character's unique charm each of those levels. So that's really cool. It's really cool. The Shrine of Secrets has also been updated, so when you purchase something on the Shrine, it works like prestiging a character. That perk is now automatically unlocked on every killer or survivor. And one of the big things for me is the way they're transitioning to the new system. Even if you haven't prestiged, they don't want people like me, or maybe like you, who have leveled all their characters up to 50, unlocked most of the perks on those characters, etc, etc. They don't want those people, us, to feel left out, or forgotten about, or like our work was for nothing. So we're being awarded a certain amount of prestige levels based on how many perks we have unlocked for the character. So that's pretty good. Some of us might be hitting, hopefully they'll take us up to like prestige 4 or 5, maybe somewhere around in there. I feel like I put in enough work and enough time into some of these killers getting all these perks that I should immediately, be getting the bloodied skin. Hey, that's just me though. So I'm not going to cover matchmaking incentive. It's decent. It's not the best. It is what it is. It's cool for what it is, but look, man, I feel like DBD behavior are way too scarce on blood points sometimes. And, well, I mean, we don't have to worry about that too much anymore, but, they don't give nearly as many as they should for an incentive, in my opinion. Okay, now this one is huge. The generator speeds have been changed. So they're up to 90 seconds from 80 seconds. That's a very big difference. 10 seconds for a generator is crazy, especially with some of the other things that we're going to go through. Well, actually, right now, kicking a generator will now instantly remove 2.5% of the maximum progress. So that is also insane. Killers just seem to have gotten a lot of love in this patch, and I'm loving that. So we have a built-in mini, like very tiny, minuscule Pop Goes the Weasel, which it can be huge in some situations. You're down to those like last gen even, and you don't have Pop Goes the Weasel because you didn't want to be a sweaty nerd. And well, now you have a built-in mini pop that, you know, helps the game out a lot. And now it takes them 10 seconds longer to do a gen, so maybe you're not getting rushed through, so maybe it takes a little bit longer to get on those last few. It's really good, and I really love that. Great job, behavior. Okay, so to give a quick overview, they thought the average kill rates were low, so they've improved some other aspects of playing killers. So they reduced the time it takes to break pallets and walls by 10%, now 2.34 seconds, previously was 2.6. Generators can also be kicked 10% faster, now 1.8 was 2, and they've reduced the cooldown for a successful basic attack, by 10%, now 2.7, previously was 3, and they've reduced the duration of the survivor's speed boost upon being hit by 10%, now 1.8 was 2 seconds. That's really great. Now, as they even say in their little patch notes thing, that might not seem like a lot, but on Dead by Daylight, a fraction of a second literally matters, especially if you're playing in a competitive situation or a competitive area. A fraction of a second is pretty huge, and even to the casual player who might not realize it, a fraction of a second, 2 milliseconds, it's actually a big difference. It can be the difference between, like they say, getting that swing or them making it to a pallet. So those are some pretty good changes, and we'll have to see if they need to be increased more or maybe even decreased. That might be too much. They've also changed bloodlust, but I don't really like bloodlust, so I'm not going to talk about bloodlust. Camping and tunneling, pretty big thing. Survivors now receive a 5-second endurance status effect after being unhooked. That's pretty big. They have a built-in borrowed time now, and they also have a 7% haste status effect for 5 seconds. So they have like a mini sprint burst. I don't know how fast sprint burst makes you when it comes to haste, but you have like a mini sprint burst for 5 seconds after being unhooked as well. And both of the effects will be cut off prematurely if the survivor performs an action now called a conspicuous works action, which is pretty good when you need to remember these. Repairing a generator, healing yourself or others, cleansing or blessing your totem, sabotaging a hook, unhooking others, opening a gate, whatever. So we do need to remember those, because they'll come into effect here in a minute, but that's really good. I think having a built-in borrowed time is great. It gives more freedom of other perks to run because you don't have to run borrowed time anymore, and I think borrowed time was one of the less toxic meta perks out there, and it has been nerfed. Not drastically, but you know, I love that you don't have to run it anymore. You have something built in that's great. Ooh, now we're getting into the spicy parts. Okay, so barbecue and chili has been nerfed. You no longer get a blood point bonus when using the perk. Insane. Hex Ruin has now been nerfed from 200, 150, 100% to 175 and 50%. Good lord, have mercy. Pop goes the weasel. You only get a 20% generator pop instead of a 25% because of that 2.5% that's already added on. Not a huge nerf, but pretty decent. Corrupt intervention, mostly the same, only one change. When a survivor enters the dying state, it deactivates. Nuts. Great though. Tinkerer! They nerfed Tinkerer! I didn't know Tinkerer was that well used. Anyway, Tinkerer can now only be activated once per generator, but with the base charges increased to 90. Killers will have extra time to approach. And then we have Noed, the big Noed nerf, dude. Survivors will now see the Hex Totem's aura within 4 meters upon activation. This range increases to 24 meters over the course of 30 seconds. That's crazy. Good lord. Scourge Hook Pain Resonance has been nerfed. Damn. Survivors will no longer scream, and instead of exploding, the affected generator will now spark upon losing progress. And they're removing the loud notification sound. Boy, they completely nerfed that perk. That's one that, I don't know, was that necessary? I haven't played the game in months. I really like the perk. It was like the last good perk that came out for me while I was playing. Was it really that good? Were people really using it that much to become that meta? I thought it was good, but I didn't think it was great. Let me know in the comments. Deck Hard is nerfed. Now you only get a 1 second endurance when activated. Oh my god, let's fucking go. Oh my god, this perk, let me tell you dudes, since this perk has came out, since this perk has been in the game, which I think it's been in the game since I've been playing the game, this perk has been the bane of my existence. I hate this perk with every fiber of my being. It's one of the reasons I quit playing the game every time I play the game, because this perk drives me absolutely in goddamn insane because there was no counterplay to it. And yeah, people are going to argue, just hold your attack, man, just hold your attack. You can't hold your attack if you're 5 feet away from a pallet and it's do or die, you know, and they're just going to dead hard right away. So look, don't give me that bullshit about, you know, just hold your attack. Like, this perk literally drove me nuts. Good lord, thank god it's nerfed. Good riddance. Decisive Strike, I don't have too many problems with Decisive Strike. It was nerfed. The only thing that bothers me is, you know, a survivor getting unhooked, having decisive. You have time to down a whole other survivor, like 2 health stakes, hook them, go back, find this other survivor, and you still get hit with decisive somehow. So annoying. That's the only problem I have with it, but I do think it's healthy. Other than that, it prevents a lot of, you know, tunneling. Just that slight problem. But moving forward, it will now deactivate once the exit gates are powered, which is huge, and the stun has been reduced from 5 seconds to 3. And also, it will now be cancelled by conspicuous action. Do you remember those little things I told you to remember, man? Doing a gen, unhooking someone, blessing a totem, many other things will now cancel out this perk entirely. I think that's good. I think that could counter what annoys me about it, which is great. Now, Borrowed Time hasn't been nerfed by a huge amount. Borrowed Time will now extend the duration of the effect of the unhooked survivor by 6, 8, 10 seconds, which is good. So it just, you know, again, probably the least toxic meta perk in my opinion. It just boosts what you already get now. It's great. So Iron Will, instead of making the grunts of pain silent, it will now just reduce that to 75, 50, and 25%, and additionally, Iron Will no longer activate when exhausted. Cool. Self-care, to reduce extreme, Self-care's heal speed will be lowered to 25, 30, 35%, and the item efficiency bonus has been removed entirely. Nutty, dude. And when it comes to Spine Kill, the killer must have clear line of sight on the survivor, and they'll add a short 0.5 seconds lingering effect to Spine Shield. This will prevent the perk icon from flickering when the killer looks around, and make the action speed boost more consistent. Finally, we'll be removing the vault speed bonus entirely, as it does not suit the perk's nature. That's cool. Killer perk buffs, overcharge. So the regression speed grows from 100% to 400% over the course of 30 seconds. That's nuts, and that's going to be meta. Eruption, still don't think it's that good. We have up the generator regression penalty to 10%, and the duration of the incapacitated effect to 15, 20, 25%. Still don't think that's that good. Knockout causes survivors to crawl 50% slower for 15 seconds, and the recovery speed is reduced by 25%. Chlorophobia will now increase the speed of skill checks by 50% on top of its current effect. Dark Devotion, survivors can now lose, or an obsession can now lose a health state in any way for the killer to gain the perk. So with your killer power, it's really cool. Jolt allows the killer to regress generators simply by downing a survivor. That's crazy. To make it more consistent upon his careless survivor plays, we've removed the cooldown. Nice. Lethal Pursuer now has an additional 2 seconds on top of the effect. That's nuts. It's not too nuts, but that's good. Let's just say that's good. Gift of Pain increases the action speed penalty to 10, 13, 16%. Thanatophobia increases the action speed penalty to 4.5, 5, and 5.5 per survivor for a maximum of 18, 20, and 22%. Monstrous Shrine, the perk will now convert all basement hooks to Scourge hooks. That's insane. Scourge hooks will now grant 10, 15, 20% faster entity progression, but only if the killer is not within 24 meters. Calm Spirit, for survivor, you can now open chest and cleanse and bless totems silently, albeit at 40, 35, and 30% reduction speed. Saboteur, the auras are shown in yellow when a survivor is being carried for Scourge hooks. Botany Knowledge increases the healing speed by 30, 40, and 50%, up from 11, 22, and 33. Off the Record, gain the Endurance status effect for 60, 70, and 80%. The Endurance effect is lost upon doing a conspicuous action. It's pretty cool. Lucky Break, we're giving a survivor a way to recharge Lucky Break. Each second spent healing another survivor increases Lucky Break's duration by 1 second. Pharmacy, you are now guaranteed a medkit when you're injured. That's awesome. Soul Survivor will now increase your generator repair speed by 75%, and your exit gate and hatch opening speed by 50%. It's crazy. Distortion, gain 1 token for every 30 seconds spent within the killer terror radius, and that's pretty cool, I guess. Your scratch marks will be more sporadic, making you harder to track. Your scratch marks will also fade 5, 4, and 3 seconds sooner, up from 1, 2, and 3. Deja Vu will now grant a 5% repair speed bonus to the revealed generators. No One Left Behind will grant you a 7% movement speed bonus to any survivors you unhook. Additionally, the perk now activates when the gates are powered rather than open. Dark Sense, the next time the killer comes within 24 meters of you, their aura is revealed for 5, 7, and 10 seconds. Dark Sense then deactivates. That's when a generator is powered. Okay. Whew. Tenacity now reduce your grants of pain by 75% when in the dying state. Combined with the increased crawling speed, this perk will now be much more effective for crawling away from the killer. Hope. Hope is great for those who like to make late game saves, but the limited duration can cause it to expire at an inconvenient time. Since this perk is only useful at the end of the game, we've removed the duration entirely. Whew. Overzealous, in its current state, cleansing a totem grants you a repair speed bonus of 6%, 7%, 8%. Now that doubles if you cleanse a hex totem. It's crazy. Okay, so much like barbecuing chili for We're Gonna Live Forever, this perk features a massive blood point bonus. We do not want blood points to dictate which perks are being used, so we remove that bonus. Damn. This change will release at the same time as the progression overhaul, which is expected to cut the grind by about 75%, with the matchmaking incentives providing an additional avenue for blood points. Additionally, actions that previously granted a token will now activate the perk's secondary effect. While active, healing a survivor from the dying state grants them the endurance effect for 6, 8, 10 seconds. The secondary effect of We're Gonna Live Forever then deactivates. Well, holy shit, ladies and gentlemen, I come back and I make a video and it's a 20-minute heckin' video. Good lord. This is nuts. All of these changes are insane, and I'm actually excited to play the game again. I will be playing the game again. I will be buying the DLC now, and I will be trying the DLC out because they looked like very interesting. I still haven't even bought Sadako. So yeah, I'm going to be trying the DLC out in a more healthy game, and I'm very, very excited, and it's crazy, and I'm so happy about it. Now, where have I been? To be honest, dudes, I've been burnt out. Like I said on Twitter, I've been really, really burnt out. I haven't felt like making any videos after doing it for like almost every day for a year and a half, and then, or at least a year, and then at least twice, 3 times a week for 2 years in general. Like, it burnt me out. I wasn't having a lot of fun because I couldn't even play the game I'm talking about. But this has kind of reinvigorated me. I'm not saying I'm going to be like completely back to making like 2-3 videos a week, but I will say this: I am taking a new view on making videos. My philosophy before was I will get the most views if I'm one of the first people to upload a piece of information. Now I'm just going to talk about what I want to, and I will get it uploaded when I get it uploaded. And that's just how it's going to be. If I'm late and I lose, 4,000 views because of that, whatever, dude. I don't care. That's going to take a lot of stress off the top for me. And hopefully it makes it, fun again. But anyways, dudes, thank you guys so much for sticking around. Thank you for all of those who tuned back in. I don't know how many of you there are, because of course I'm recording this in the past. But I really appreciate all of you dudes who did. And if you watched this whole 20-minute video, give me a whole yeah in the comments. You know what I'm saying? Let me know you're there. Let me know you're out there. Let me know you're the real ones. Anyways, that's going to do it for me, dudes. Thank you all so much for watching. Again, my name is Tooten. I've been your host, and I'll see you dudes next time. Peace out.